Hi, everyone. I just took a shower. I had such a busy day. I basically just worked out all day, which has been that's been all I've been doing since my dad passed away. I've been working out every day, just walking all day long, exercising all day long, and that's it. So this morning I went on like a long 2 hour walk and then 2.5 hours. And then after that, I went to the gym. I did a little bit of walking at the gym, and then I went to yoga class, picked up my kids from school, came home, had my first meal of the day with my kids, and then dropped them off to their dad. And then I went to another yoga class. So I did two yoga classes today. Basically, like I've been doing a lot of that every day, and it's been a nice way to keep my mind off of like everything with my dad passing away. I just think it's been good for my grief to keep myself moving and keep myself active versus just like staying at home and doing nothing all day. It's been really, really good. So I can't complain. My appetite's also changed since my dad passed away. So I haven't been eating as much as I normally do, which honestly is a good thing because I was kind of excessively eating and eating a lot of fast food over the summer. And if you go through my videos of what I eat in a day, you'll see like over the summer I was eating a lot of fast food. Anyway, so that's not the video topic of the day. Just kind of just wanted to give you guys like some background on how my day's been going. I took a shower. I'm like really relaxed right now because I did two yoga classes today, and yoga is basically meditating. Um, and it just feels really good. It's like a meditation slash workout. So it feels really good and it relaxes you. And then I just took my much needed shower. I feel really, really good right now. And I thought I'd go live and I'd come in and talk about, particularly, I wanted to talk about today is like being a single mom and how to be like a good single mom and how to be a good mom in general. I do believe that a lot of married women are essentially single moms, except that they have a child and that is their husband. Because when you're a married woman and you're in a marriage where your husband is not providing for the family fully 100% financially, you end up being a caregiver on that person. And you just end up doing more than you should be, which makes you a married single mom. When you leave the role of being a married single mom, which is, divorce, and then you become just a single mom, your life becomes a lot easier. And it's hard to explain because when you are in a marriage, it's hard to understand that it could be easier by removing your partner from the picture. Um, but it is because you don't realize how much emotionally and mentally um, having a man in your house and having a husband is for you when that person is not like a full provider. Even husbands that are fully providing take your like it still takes a lot of energy and time to be around them. I was watching this girl's video on TikTok and she wrote like, get ready with me, my provider, get ready with me as I prepare for my provider husband to come home from work, something like that. And she had to like do a full routine of like a shower, makeup, like getting the whole house ready, making a hot meal, which, like do that if you have a provider husband and that makes you happy, do that. He's doing his part. You can do whatever you want to contribute. But a lot of women are doing that for just men that aren't provider husband. So it's really, really draining to do that when you're working and you're with someone who's like not even a provider. So when you leave that situation and you become single mom and not a married single mom, you're dropping that title of married and just being a single mom, and you're removing that responsibility, because being married is a responsibility, especially when you are a full-time working woman. The marriage is a responsibility. It no longer, it does not feel comforting and nice and easy and free and central and romantic in that situation. And where I'm going with this is, once you're just a single mom, it's already easier. Like, just the fact that you're a single mom and you're not responsible for, a man anymore, it's already easier. I'm just gonna light this candle because I have never lit this candle yet, and I've had it for a while, and I want to light it. So, we don't want to drop that. I just have to bring it to my video here and get the vibes going. So, like I was saying, sorry, when you're live on a laptop, it's like inverted, and it's like it makes me just feel very confused about what angle my face is at. So yeah, once you're a single mom only, it's already easier. It's already easier because now you're just a single mom, which means now you're just focused on you and your kids, and you're no longer focused on like a marriage or a husband who is probably not treating you very well, if he's not a provider. And that allows you in and of itself to be a better mom. I became much more fun, much more free, much more carefree. Excuse me. Whew. Much more carefree when I became a single mom and my ex moved out. And I'm not making this video to like bash my ex or talk about my ex. My point is that things it was a lot of projecting I was doing on myself and on my kids and anybody that would come around me, based on the things that my ex would want or think or feel. And then I would project that onto other people. So for example, like if you're with someone who's very OCD and kind of obsessive over everything, and like a germaphobe, for example, or things like that, as the wife, you become like the carrier of this burden of their feelings. And then you start projecting that to other people. So my sister, for example, would come over and she'd be like, I don't want to come over. Like, you're just obsessed with, every detail of what I touch, what's clean, what's dirty, germs, this and that. It's uncomfortable. And I had never been that type of person, but I was doing that because the person I was with was like that. And I was projecting that, and I was like absorbing that energy and then putting it onto other people. And once I became like a single mom living alone, like I stopped like micromanaging my kids, like letting them kind of just be free around the house and be more relaxed with things. And that's the way it's supposed to be. You're supposed to let your kids be messy, be like, you do their thing and explore and find themselves and splash on water and, do science experiments at home and make a little bit of a mess and all that. Like, that's very normal, and kids should be able to do that stuff. But I find that a lot of people don't allow their kids to freely do those things, and it's usually because of their husbands. And so at least that's what I've observed. Like, it is what I have observed. And now with my kids, I just let them be free. Obviously, if they are intentionally doing things to be messy or be careless, I will talk to them. But I otherwise like to let them just kind of be free around the house and do what they want, and just explore and find themselves and what they want to do around the house. And I just think that's so important. So, and it just makes you as a person a lot less stressed because you're not worrying anymore about like little things and messy things and stuff like that. So that's one way that being a single mom made me a better mom is I stopped kind of worrying about the small things and I became much more relaxed as a mom because I was no longer projecting like someone else's, you know, thoughts and anxieties on myself and on the people around me. And the second thing about like how to become like a single mom that's like relaxed and happy is just you become a much better version of yourself, and that already makes you a better mom. Like being a better version of yourself is good for your kids. You know, I never used to have hobbies when I was married. I was just like work, home, and then like whatever social thing my partner wanted to do at the time. And I didn't have my own identity. And then closer to the end of the relationship, I started to like kind of find out who I was and do things. And then now that I'm a single mom, I've like done so many things. Like I went through doing skating, dancing, I'm in yoga. I work out all the time now. I walk a lot. I read a lot. Like these are all things I picked up after I left my marriage. And it was it is these things that help you become a better mom because you're now a much more calm person, a much more fulsome, wholesome person, and not just someone that's like s- sole identity is parenthood and being a mom. Your kids actually need you to have your own identity, especially as they like grow up and they start to have their own identities. You need to show them that you have your own too, because then you become a needy parent on your kids, and your kids start to become worried about you. And I was watching this other video on TikTok where this mom was crying because her kids had moved out and her kids had become she was in an empty nest. So an empty nest is when your children become adults and they move out. And her children moved out and she was crying because she said she wants to be a mom with kids in the house forever. And it's like that's not how life works. That's not the circle of life. You raise your kids and prepare them to leave the nest. So like you should be not crying about that. You should be happy and grateful that you got to that point, and you should have had your own life and your own identity so that you're not lost when your kids leave, because your kids then feel that energy and feel that anxiety, and it causes them to then feel worried about you, which your children should never be worried about you. Already, like the main thing about being a good mom is your children never worry about you. You're worrying about your children. Like, I don't ever want my kids worrying about me, and that's part of the reason why I even left my marriage, is because I saw that my children were becoming worried about, like, our marriage, about their parents, about, like, how we were getting along, how I was feeling after arguments with my partner, and I did not want my kids to ever have to worry about me. And so when you are a parent with your own identity, your kids don't worry about you. They're just focused on themselves and having a good time with you, but they're not in this position of worrying about you. And that's very, very important to being a good parent, is being your own person, allowing your kids to be their own person, and they're not worrying about you. So focus on yourself, focus on your own hobbies, your own life, while also, obviously surrounding your life around your kids as well. Because when I'm with my children, I'm with my children. I don't get a babysitter to watch my kids and I make my own plans. When I have my kids with me, I am with them the whole time. I don't like offload them onto someone else, because when I'm with my kids, I'm their mom. But they still know that I have my own life. They ask me what I did while they were with their dad. They love to see where I went and what I did, and they have interest in that, especially my daughter. And it's very important. It's important for you, and it's important for them. I'm trying to think, like, what else makes makes me like feel like I'm doing a good job at being a single mom. Oh yeah. The other thing about being a single mom that's good for your kids is that's important on how to be a good single mom is to not expose or introduce your kids to men that you are dating or in relationships with. Like your kids should not be involved in any relationship you're in with a man or dating with a man unless it's so serious that you're basically like deciding this is your future husband and also that that man has paid and provided for you. Like I can't even imagine introducing my kids to someone who hasn't done the absolute most for me. Because if they're not going to do the most for me, then they're definitely not going to do nothing for my kids. So it's like also that, like, not introducing people to your kids carelessly. And I've heard so many horror stories of moms that just like carelessly introduce their kids to people they're in relationships with. And it's just so, like, it's so toxic. And it's so, it makes me sad when I hear, like, oh, like I remember once this mom was telling me that she introduced her boyfriend to her kids, and then her boyfriend started to like kind of tell the kids what to do and like kind of discipline them, not physically, but like verbally. And they weren't even that close in a relationship and that serious, but he was doing that. And it's because she had introduced him to the kids. And this like major boundary of you don't get to meet my kids has been, overstepped now. And now he's comfortable around your kids to discipline them. And that's just crazy to me because I would never let anyone discipline my kids except me. And even that, obviously, like I only discipline my kids verbally, but even verbally, I would never allow some man to discipline my kids. Like that's not for them to do. And even a man that would want to discipline your kids verbally is crazy because they should know better that that's not their role. Their role is to be there and provide and protect, and that's it. You're the parent, you're the mother. Like that type of privilege to be able to like verbally, give a child discipline and speak to them in a certain tone when they're doing something wrong. That is earned over many years, and that's not until you're married. The kids call this person their dad. Like it's so long down the line that it shouldn't even be on your mind at all. So really introducing your kids to men that you're dating and like in a relationship with is so wrong unless they're absolutely providing, everything's taken care of, and basically the next step is you're about to get married. Your kids don't need to be involved. This is for not only like your kids' mental health, because you shouldn't be exposing them to unstable situations, but their safety. Because how many times have you seen men harm the children of their ex-girlfriend or ex-wife or ex-partner as a way of revenge? You've seen you I've seen we've seen men harm their own children to get revenge on the mother of their kids, let alone how many times we've seen men harm the ex's children who aren't their own children in order to get revenge. Like it's just not a safe situation. There's just so many reasons why it's not safe and you shouldn't do it. So don't do it. There's absolutely no reason why you should be introducing your kids to any man. Like keep that to yourself. Like a lot of women I find become so excited to share that they've met a guy, they'll like tell everybody in their life. Like I've met so many pick like this. Like They need to tell their mom, their dad, their siblings, I met a guy, met a guy, met a guy. And it's like that guy's not even taking you seriously. It's so embarrassing. So like just keep it to yourself. Save yourself the embarrassment, save your kids the embarrassment, have some respect for your kids, put some respect to your kid's name, and don't do that. There's no reason. Your kids only need you. They don't need you to have a boyfriend. They don't need you to have a guy that you're introducing them to. They just need you and their father. And if their father's not in the picture, then they just need you. They don't need you to introduce them to random strange men that you yourself don't even fully know. So if you want to be a good single mom, please don't introduce your kids to random strange men that you're dating and in relationships with. It's not necessary. Your kids don't need it. They're much better off not meeting those people. I very rarely heard I've never heard a kid say, "Oh, my mom used to introduce me to lots of guys she dated, and I really enjoyed that." I've never heard that before. It's always in a negative way because it's negative experience for your kids. There's probably so many more things I could say about like how to be a good single mom. Um, I just can't think of all of them at once off the top of my head. I just went on live right now without planning it. I didn't write anything down. It's just like a topic that came to my mind, and I was like, let me talk about it. Sorry, sometimes I just like to pause and think before I like start saying something else. That's why I don't go on live much because I really pause a lot when I'm talking and I think. And when I make my videos that I edit, if you see the unedited version, there's like so many pauses of me pausing and like thinking about like what I'm gonna say next. And it's like it'll be like 2 minutes of pause. But with a live, I'm not gonna edit it. I'm gonna save this as is. Another way to be a good single mom is like not to expose your kids to like financial worries. I don't expose my kids to that. I do explain to them that, I work for my money and money doesn't fall off trees, but I don't give them worries about money or make them feel like, you know, things can go bad financially or anything like that. Like, I don't ever project that on them or put that on them. I make sure that they have what they want. They have what they need. Obviously, I'm not on like a mega yacht or friggin' private jets, which is not. I don't even care for that. I am a suburban mom through and through. I love living in the suburbs. I love this life. The only thing I could ever want more of is just more discretionary income to spend money on me and my kids. But I'm like not one of those like obsessed with like a major lifestyle change. I love my lifestyle the way it is right now. Like I really do love it and I'm so grateful for it. But even if I was, in a big struggling situation, I would never let my kids know or show my kids. And I've been there where I have been struggling and like especially like fresh out of my divorce, I had to financially get my life together. I had to really make changes to my life and I never let my kids feel that change. I made sure that there was like the least amount of impact on them. Calvin says, a way to make things more efficient is to write a note and go over it a time or two before you record, kind of a rehearsal. Keep the note in view on your comp so you glance at it if maybe. Thanks. That's actually such good advice. And I do that when I film my videos that like I pre-plan and that I edit, but this live is like totally spontaneous. But that's a good point. Like if I next time I go live, I'll like plan what I want to talk about and I will break it down a little. And with ChatGPT, it's so easy to do that. And that way to like kind of keep me on track. Thanks, Kelvin. That's really good advice. Oh wow, I'm looking at these like live features. And when someone makes a comment, you can remove their comment. There's an option to put user in timeout, hide user on this channel, and add user as a moderator. I did not know that it had these features. I'm still like getting used to going live. Because for me, going live during the day is hard because I'm so busy during the day, like out and about, either working out or just working or doing something with friends or family or whatever. And so I could really only go live in the evenings. And now, but I didn't have like this the setup. I didn't have lighting. And so if I would go live, it would be like dark. And the only light I would have is my lamp, and it's just the worst quality. So now that I have my vanity table and I have my like ring light here and I have my mic, like it all works out because without my mic, when I go live on my laptop, it's like the worst volume. There's like an echo. Um, but now I have it. So now I can go live. And I went live the other day and I'm live today. And I'll keep going live. I went on live on TikTok yesterday, live on YouTube the day before. Kelvin, you better not. Kelvin says I better not put him in timeout. I won't, but I did learn about timeout right now, thanks to you. I've never gone live before. Yes, busy. Well, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Subscribe to my channel. Oh, oh my God. What did I just do? Kevin, I just went on your channel and I think one of your videos just started playing. Oh, here. Oh, I see. A second category player USCF. What is that? Oh, you play chess. That's so interesting. You play chess? I've never gone live before. The life of a struggling YouTuber. I subbed a long time ago. I never watch videos, so only make them. Oh, I watch videos on YouTube though, because when you watch videos on YouTube, it like gives you ideas on how to do yours and you kind of see where you can do better. That's where I started. It's because I watch so much YouTube videos from a select few YouTubers that I realized I need a mic, I need a vanity, I need a ring light. Like I realized all of this by watching other YouTubers. Well, thank you for subscribing. I had a video go viral. You probably subscribed because of that video. Anyway, chess is interesting because my son really likes chess, and his my dad, which is his grandpa, got him his first chessboard, taught him how to play chess, and yeah, so he's obsessed with chess. And we used to play a lot, but my son's really competitive. Yeah, asking my viewers is very important, but the thing is, when I go live right now, because I've just started to go live, I don't get that much like engagement in my chat. So it's like I don't know how to ask. Like, how do I ask people? Well, there's 4 people here right now, so for you people who are here in the live right now, tell me what you think about my content. Like, I'd love to know. Tell me where you're watching from. Like, that would be so good to know. Okay, well, for the past 25 minutes, I've been talking about how to be like a good single mom and like what makes you a good single mom. What makes you like how to be a good single mom. And yeah, I just have those 3 points right now. I'll make like a more well thought out edit video where I go over this and kind of explain it. I think I'm gonna go now. It's been 30 minutes and it's 9 o'clock. Oklahoma. You're in Oklahoma? Isn't that where Family Guy's family is? Oklahoma? I think it is. I'm confused. Why is my phone connected to Yasmeen's? Can you hear my sound? Like clearly? Is Oklahoma a state? Or is that a city? I'm from Canada, so I actually am not very, very good with American cities and states. Okay, I'm gonna go. It's 9 o'clock at night. I'm gonna go now. I want to edit this video on my iPhone. I definitely think kids need male role models. Totally, 100%. And I'm not a single mom where, there's different types of single moms. There's single moms where the dad is not involved and the dad's either, doesn't want to be involved or for safety reasons is not involved. But I have shared custody, so they have a dad who's there all the time with them. So they definitely get that father figure in their life already. So I definitely have no urgency to introduce them to any man. And even to this day, like if my kids are behaving a certain way, or I feel like they need like a male to step in, like I call their dad and he'll talk to them. Tulsa is a city in the state of Oklahoma. Oh, I've heard of Tulsa. Oh, I didn't know that was in Oklahoma. Canada has provinces and territories, so it's not like America where you guys have all states. We have provinces and territories, and the territories are just 3 at the top of the country. the north of the country, and then everything else is a province. It's a little confusing. I don't know why it's like that here. All right, I'm gonna go. Yeah, of course. Who's in my live right now? Well, does it tell me who's here? All right, thanks everyone for watching. I'm gonna blow out my candle, and I'm gonna call it a night. There you go. Get the positive vibes from the candle. No, I don't speak French. We learned French in school, in public school, but I never actually. Learned it. Okay. Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining my live today. Please subscribe if you like this video. And in the permanent comments, let me know what else you want me to talk about on future lives. Bye, everyone.